So we'll just take it from there. So real quick, I want to do a little exercise. It's really, really simple. I want you to take about 10 to 15 minutes and tell me who your favorite superhero is. Okay, favorite superhero. Doesn't have to be out of Marvel or DC. It could be mom, dad, uncle, aunt. You know, it could be some, I don't know. It could be whoever. But who is your favorite superhero? And I'll start. I got two of them. I'm a big fan of Batman, big fan of Iron Man. I think they're one and the same. Like they both hold the same space in both the DC comic book universe and the Marvel universe. And then I obviously have a son who's 10 years old who he gives me opportunity and reason to get into this stuff. But I want to know everybody's superhero. Who wants to start? It's a simple question. Who wants to start? You got to have a superhero. Just no one. Yeah.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
I love cats.
Yes. Yes.
But also my mom. But for obvious reasons, she's my mom.
Yeah. That's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Who else? Everybody's gonna tell me who their superhero is.
This sounds silly, but mine would be my husband because I didn't have the best dad growing up.
Okay.
So watching him with my kids is really good to see, and it's cool.
And there's nothing silly about that. That's very, very dope. Very, very dope in a good way, not in a bad way. Who else? We all have to have somebody that, yeah.
A girl that I did home care for because she could look at other people and say that her life was better because of their position, even though she was paralyzed and in a wheelchair and navigating through a new life.
Absolutely.
And she's an advocate for so many things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who else?
My brother, because he fought a really long, hard journey.
Awesome. Who else?
There's a lady in my church who takes charge of all our mission groups, and she's just really strong in her faith and knows Jesus really well, and she gets to travel a lot doing all these mission trips and organizing them, and it's something that I admire because I always wanted to be able to do that, and so she kind of, with her strong faith and being able to do that, would be a superhero to me because I can't think of any others.
That's fine. I feel really stupid that I told you that mine was Batman and Iron Man. I thought I was gonna get more comic book characters, and then maybe like a few people would say like my father or my mother. So far, it's everybody not in those two worlds. Who else? Who haven't we gotten to yet? Come on, yeah.
Just to make you feel better, The Arrow.
The Arrow?
Yes.
You watched the show?
Yes.
Okay, I don't watch much TV. Mark, what do we watch all day, every day? We watch two shows. What do we watch all day, every day? We watch the Cosby Show. And basketball. That's all we watch. The Cosby Show is you don't have to think. I don't have to worry about the content. I don't have to worry about suggestive behavior. I could just throw it on. Now, I understand there's some things that have happened since that show aired. But at the end of the day, it still works in terms of my children. They can watch that show, and we can sit there, and we ain't got to worry about what's about to pop on television. And a lot of diversity in that show, if you haven't checked it out in a long time. So, yeah, okay, who we got? Yes.
L2. I like Hawkeye.
Yes.
Because he's a badass.
Yes.
He goes home to his kids at the end of the day. It's really cute.
Yeah.
And then at school we have a student coordinator. Her name is Becky. She's my queen.
Yeah.
Because it shows that like even through all the craziness that academics can have, she's a nurse and she's our advocate in any problem we ever have. She's there for us. It's really
Awesome. We get one more. I'll give one more. So who's going to be the hero and just do my one more? Be my one more. Come on. I'm just going to close my eyes until somebody says something. Don't make it awkward for me.
No pressure, guys. No pressure.
So I'll go.
Yes.
So it might be funny for you guys, but my really superhero is Christ.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the right place to talk about it, but that's what I live for. So that's my secret.
In creating that brave space, I will hope that if you have a higher divinity that is the inspiration for how you show up every single day, I'll hope that you have enough courage and have a space that allows you, even if, again, we want to keep it secular. I hope that you can say that. Like it's almost like I always tell my boys, when they talk about their dreams. I said, listen, you got to treat your dream like your girlfriend. If that's your girlfriend, if your dream is your girlfriend, and with your girlfriend, you saying, man, sweetheart, you are everything to me. I love you, right? But as soon as you get out in public, someone says, hey, man, who is that? Now, this is just your dream. And the second, as soon as you are in public, you say, man, who is that? You're like, oh, this is my buddy. When you go back home, you have a problem, right? So when it comes to your God, I will hope that you have enough a space and enough confidence to say, I'm not going to pray to my God and praise him behind doors. When we get in public, act like, I don't know. I did all this myself. Like I did all of this myself. Yeah, I got through solely by myself. So by all means, I think I understand the world of academia, I understand UofM, but I hope there's some space where you can be honest and say, my God is my hero. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. When I was coming up in my mid-20s, after I graduated college, I had 2 aha moments. And it's funny, I got my son with me, and I was going to say the first aha moment that I learned was everybody's getting their kicked. But since I got him, everybody's getting their butts kicked, right? That was the first aha moment, that everybody gets their butt kicked. And it was such a powerful moment for me because I realized it wasn't just me. I'm not the only person getting their butt kicked every day. You know what I'm saying? By something. Whether it was bills, whether it was relationships, or whether it was, just challenges within the workplace, whatever. I'm not the only person. And then this is like a sub aha moment. The sub aha moment was the only people who are able to disguise it are the people who are able to make meaning out of their situations. So everybody's getting their butt kicked, but the only people who are able to make it look like they're not getting their butt kicked, the person that you say, man, that person has it all, man. I wish I could, them too, but they're taking all their circumstances, they're taking all their challenges, and they're making meaning. They're finding the reason, like, why am I going through this? This is why. Why am I getting such resistance in this direction? Oh, it's so you can prepare me for this, and this. So at the end of the day, everybody's getting their butt kicked. And then the second aha moment was, this is what connects us. This is what connects us. Pain, despair, struggle, challenges, resistance. This is what connects us. We don't get connected by way of success. We don't get connected because every time someone's successful, you're probably looking at your situation and saying, man, I wish I had more. Or that person doesn't deserve that. I deserve that. Or, success doesn't connect us because everybody's getting successful on different levels and not all of us look at success the same, but we all look at our challenges a lot of the time the same way. If you get hit with something devastating and from like just putting your eyes on it from the eye test, it may not be as devastating as what she's going through, but at the end of the day, because you two are going through it, it's devastating. You like these parents out here. There might be some surgeries or some illnesses that might be more devastating or deadly than others, right? And you know that from a medical standpoint, but you can't say that to that parent. You can't say, hey, well, let me check this out. At least you don't have that going on the other side of this curtain. That's how you get into a fight, okay? If you want to fight, say that to somebody. I'm just assuming I don't know your work as well as you do, but that's what I learned. Everybody's getting their butt kicked. And then because everybody's getting their butt kicked, that's how we stay connected. And so I want to just kind of prove it to you. I want to tell you how I'm getting my butt kicked. And I want at least 5 people to tell me the same thing. But I'm going to give you 2 ways you can do it. You can do this the short way. Okay, I'm going to give you like the short way of saying I'm getting my butt kicked. You can say, Sally Mae, like so me personally, Sally Mae is kicking my butt. Do you know who Sally Mae is? Yes. Okay, everybody's familiar with this chick. Okay, all right. She is kicking my behind, okay? That's one way you can say it. That's a real thing. That's not like an example. That's some truth. The other way you can say it is purpose is kicking my butt. Purpose is literally kicking my butt because I know I can help more people by doing what I was put on earth to do. But at the same time, fulfilling my purpose might make me and my family uncomfortable. Because I can do work over here where the work is predictable, the income is predictable, residual income, we know what to expect. But over here with this purpose thing, I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping that I'm fulfilling the correct purpose. 1, number 2, I hope that it will provide us with necessity. And I got a wife. Actually, I need more necessity. I need access. I need more than so we can all be happy, right? So those are the things that are kicking my butt. So I need 5 people to tell me what's kicking their butt. You can give me the short version, so-and-so is kicking my butt, or you can say so-and-so is kicking my butt and give us some explanation so that we are, up to speed. Go ahead.
The future is kicking my butt.
The future's kicking your butt.
We're graduating in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And it's terrifying.
Sure.
And I don't think that's, in my mind, I don't think that's ever going to go away, but I'm pretty sure it will, but I'm also pretty sure it's not. So that, not knowing what's going to happen, that unpredictability, is kicking my butt.
No doubt. That's real. I got 1, need 4 more. Time.
Time is kicking my butt between work and home life and everything. There's not enough time.
You go home and you got to get straight to the action. You have children?
Jump right in. Yep, 3.
So do I. You got children, the husband, and what you got to do for the house. And don't forget about yourself.
Yeah.
You probably never get to that person.
Not anymore. Not lately.
Yeah.
We just moved into a house. Everyone knows that. So
Oh, okay.
a couple months ago. So yeah, time.
Time's kicking your butt. I need 3 more. Distance.
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, so I just moved here, and so I'm kind of a homebody, so it's in my family.
Absolutely. 2 more.
I'd say health.
Health is kicking your
Yeah,
butt.
family health.
Okay.
his Nephew going through a hard time right now.
Sure. Yeah. We need 1 more. Come on, one more brave soul. I gave you 2 of mine. I gave you 2 of them. And we have some other people.
I can tell you, it's not a complaint, but I'll tell you my competencies are kicking me right now. It's totally kicking me.
Yeah.
I am putting a lot of hours into this, so it is. It's like I'm on timer
Yeah.
right now.
Absolutely.
So it's kicking me. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we got a little bit of family. We got a little bit of work.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of time kicking your butt. The future, uncertainties kicking your butt. Family health. Family. We'll say family. We'll keep it broad, but we know what you're talking about because you just gave us that. You don't have to put your hand way up, but can you relate? Can any of you relate? Even if you put your hand up, even if you participate and you gave us something, can any of you relate to each other and yeah, that's kicking my butt too? Can you even relate to me? If you can't, I mean, just a show of hands. Just a show of hands. Yeah. And just then, just like that, we're all connected. Just like that, we're all connected. Because you weren't saying, I'm just, who's kicking your butt? You were responding to the fact that you heard something that you can relate to. So just like that, everybody is connected because we're all going through something. Sometimes it might be you kicking your own butt. Maybe somebody did something to you and you can't forgive them. And because you can't forgive them, it's hard to move on. Because that energy, it festers, it becomes toxic, it starts showing up in ways that you can't control. And that can make it difficult for you to see clearly, hear clearly, think, love clearly. Or maybe you did something to someone and you can't forgive yourself. That's real. And so you feel like you got to go through this life that's full of struggle and strife and resistance because you got to make it tough for yourself to kind of make up for what you may have done to somebody, not realizing everybody's okay in the end. And then we got family, right? Your husband, your wife, your spouse, your partner, your kids might be kicking your butt. Sometimes my kids kick my butt. Like, God can't. Dude, do your homework. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he's good. He's good, though. He's good. But it's maybe it's the 2-year-old who gets up at night still. You know, you got a heavy day. You still got to get up for the 2-year-old. He wants milk. So now you can't get a good night's sleep. But every time you send him to his grandparents, you realize that when you get that good night of sleep, you wake up before the alarm clock. You're like, man, if only I could have this every day. But you don't get a chance to do that. Sometimes family can kick your butt. Sometimes you might be thinking about somebody in your family because they're not thinking about themselves. So now you can't think about yourself because you got to think about them to help them and protect them and so on and so forth. And then there's work. Work might be kicking your butt. The distance. This is where I got to work. I get a chance to work for UofM, Leaders and Best. Just so happens Leaders and Best UofM is in Michigan and ain't at home. So now I'm a homebody. I want to be at home, but this is where the work is. But you know I need this for the resume. And this is an awesome place to work. I hear the retirement plan is amazing. But there might be some challenges here at work. And then there's the patience. The patience might be kicking your butt. Just the things that you see. And how do you have to see this stuff and then go home, act like you didn't see what you just saw? Whether it's prepping a kid who's scared to death or dealing with that kid after they're done and having to keep up this energy when you like, man, this is tough. I just watched a doctor who was successful in the surgery. I didn't watch him, but he was successful in surgery. He was just telling the parents like, yo, well, we did it. And he started crying because he's like, man, kids do it to me, man. This is what I do for a living, and it never gets old. But here's one, and you can tell me if I'm on this one or not. The parents can sometimes kick your butt. You're like, listen, this ain't all I got. This ain't all I got going. I got to deal with myself. I got to deal with my family. I got to deal with my work. I got to deal with my job. I got to deal with my coworkers. It's a lot of stuff I got to deal with. I'm doing my best. And you all human, right? You human. So sometimes you're like, I'll show you in a very professional way. I'll show you. Dr. Eddie Glaude is a professor. I always get this wrong. I got his book, Seeing a Man Speak. It's one of the Ivy League schools. I want to say it's Harvard. He says America is at an imagination deficit, meaning a lot of us Americans have a hard time using our imagination to take ourselves from where we are to where someone is so that we can feel what they're going through. That makes sense? Sometimes all we see, all we see is the problem, but we don't see what the person involved in the problem might be going through. It'd be awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. And so empathy is that ability to take yourself out of your situation and go to where someone else is. Sympathy is where you put a silver lining over somebody's pain. How many of you have been giving advice to somebody? Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it real. How many of you have been giving advice to somebody and they tell you what's going on and the first words coming out of your mouth are, well, at least. If you say that, you're preparing yourself to sympathize with somebody. You're basically saying like, hey, I just lost $10. You're like, well, hey, at least you had $10 to lose. That doesn't help me out. Sometimes empathy is simply, so was that your last $10? Yeah, that's my last $10. That hurts. I haven't said anything about fixing a problem, but sometimes just relating, connecting, saying, I'm not feeling the way you feeling, but I felt that way before. Let me see if I can look at my catalog of, bad moments and see if I can at least get close to what you're feeling so we can connect. Because sometimes you don't need an explanation. You don't need a solution. All you want to do is just rap about it. I know this from being married. Wife come home, start letting me know what's going on. And what's the first thing I do? Let me give you some advice. She don't want my advice. Like, all I want to do is listen to you, man. Just be quiet. One time she got mad at me. She was like she was in a zone talking about everything that was going on at work. And I was just listening. I'm problem solving. And we the worst, because we'll start saying, this is what I would do. Oh, you don't know what you would do if you was in my situation. You don't know my family. You don't know my work dynamic. You don't know the characters that I work with. You don't know. But, let me say what you need to do. And she just looking at me, and next thing you know, it's just like, shut up talking to me. But that's what we do a lot of times. We want to sympathize. We want to give people our advice. And in all actuality, we just need to learn how to empathize. And what would be awesome is if we could wear a shirt that said, like, this is what's kicking my butt. So that when we walked into work, people would know to take it easy on us. But we don't. I don't think. I think it's pretty clear that you all have a uniform that you have to wear. So how do you override everything that's working against you to now perform at the highest level? How do you go from being human to superhuman at the drop of a dime, on command, go into the booth and come out as whoever you want to come out as, that is a symbol of superhuman strength. You have to live with intention. And there's two questions that I ask when I talk about intention. And the first question is, who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? That's key. The second question is, how do you want to think about what it is you're doing? So let's go back. When we talk about living with intention, how do you want to show up? A lot of people allow the circumstances to dictate how they show up. So if the situation and circumstances are fair and good and ideal, then we get to show up as the highest version of ourselves. But if the situation or the circumstances are negative, then we become what the circumstances are. I work with basketball players, and I'm always asking them this: is your productivity, is your confidence, and is your ability to be clutch? You guys know what I'm talking about with being clutch, right? Being clutch meaning we don't have a lot of time. Time is upon us, and you come in and perform some sort of miracle when the odds are against you. So performing under immense pressure, okay? On command. So going from your lowest level of skill to your highest level of skill at the drop of a dime and helping the collective. Clutch. Is your productivity, is your confidence, is your clutch circumstantial? It's easy to be great when the circumstances are great. Can you be great when the circumstances aren't great? In order to do that, you have to decide, how are you going to show up today? Because if you're just waiting for the circumstances to be ideal, they may never be ideal. So how are you going to show up? And what you do is you take all the power from the circumstances and you reclaim that power. You're taking back that power. This is how I'm going to show up. If the situation is negative and you put me in the situation, I'm going to alter the negative energy, if not convert it altogether. I don't care how you show up. I don't care how you show up. I don't care how you show up. But me, when I show up, I'm going to make things better because I'm going to be a freaking force of nature that will be undeniable. Despite what I got going on. I got stuff going on, but I have to decide this is how I'm going to show up. The other question is, how do you want to think about what it is you're doing? And again, this is all about reclaiming your power. I'll tell you, since I've already shared with your children and the wife and all of that stuff, my wife, we're watching 50 Shades of Grey. Terrible movie. It's terrible. I don't know what the book looked like or how it reads, but the movie is terrible. So there's a line in the movie.
It comes out Friday.
I think it's good.
What? You think it's good?
It's like my favorite.
The book is. I know. I heard the book is fantastic.
Too.
The book is great, but the visual. And I'm not even a moviegoer. I watch Marvel films or whatever. But anyway, he's Frozen. Yeah, I'm an expert on Pixar. Anybody want to talk to me about Pixar films? Let's rock and roll. So there's a line in the movie where the main character, because basically the whole movie is the two main characters going from place to place, and the guy says, Christian says to, I don't know what the girl's name is, he says Anna. He says to her, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. He says this, and I laugh, legitimate laugh, not even like a sarcastic, I'm making myself laugh to prove a point, legitimate, straight up laughter, right? Laughter. Of course, my wife, she looks at me and she's like, what's so funny? I was like, this dude, that's cheesy. I was like, that's cheesy. I said, let me tell you something. She said, what's so cheesy about that? I was like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with you. And she was like, what? I said, let me help you understand this. I said, I want to spend probably like the 60 to 70% of the rest of my life with you. I want to spend some with my parents. I want to spend some with my friends. I want to spend some with my kids. I want to spend some by myself. I want to spend some combination of those people, like some combination with my parents and my children. Some combination of my friends and my children. Some combination of my wife and my friends. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of different combinations. But I'm giving you 70%. But I want to spend that 30% with a lot of other folk. And on top of it, I know there's a necessity for me to spend some time with myself. So she calmed down. But it's foolish of us to think that in the movie world, they say stuff like that. But the reality of it is, we don't organically fall deeper in love with people. We don't organically fall deeper in love. It's work. It's work. At least for me. Maybe y'all special and y'all with this so awesome person. But for me, I have to think about how am I loving the people around me? I have to put effort into this because relationships grow old, right? Relationships grow old. So you got to keep remixing them. You got to keep thinking about, how am I loving this person? Am I falling in love? Do I have a love affair with the process of loving someone? You have to have a love affair with the love affair. So I have to think, how do I think about loving my wife? How do I think about loving my kids? I can't just assume that it's just going to organically happen. And 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, I'm going to fall deeper in love with my work. I'm going to fall deeper in love with it organically. 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, I'm going to come in here like doing backflips and skipping throughout the hall like, oh my God, I'm so stoked that I'm at work. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. You probably see some people who operate like that, but you probably see some people like on the low, you probably see some people like, that person washed up. They lost the bop. They lost the energy. They lost the passion. So how do you keep it? You have to deliberately think about certain things a certain way. So there's some parts of your job that you probably don't like. Maybe you love interacting with the patients, but you hate the paperwork. Maybe you love the paperwork. Maybe you love that, but sometimes dealing with the parents can kind of make you a little upset. Maybe there's some other parts of this process that you don't like, but those are the things that you have to fall in love with. And over time, you have to find ways to fall in love with it. I say that, to me, love is like, relationships and love is almost like a song. The lyrics are the same. These lyrics are not going to change. But what I can do is I can change the melody. I can remix the melody. And I can fall in love with that song over and over again because I love the song because I love those lyrics. Those lyrics are amazing. From day one to the last day, those lyrics are amazing. But sometimes the melody gets kind of stale. So now I have to think, how can I remix this so I can fall in love with this over and over again? Adam Sandler has a movie called 41st Dates. Anybody ever heard of it? It's a beautiful narrative of somebody working every day to make someone fall in love with them over and over and over and over again. And in some way, that's how we become superheroes. We have to find a way to fall in love with the process every single day so we give ourselves a chance to show up as the highest version of ourselves. The universe and the people in it are no more, they're just a mirror. So you're a human being. You're a human being, okay? And you have incredible value. But on another level, you're a mirror. And how I show up and how I think about what it is I'm doing, you're going to reflect that to me. So if I decide to let my circumstances dictate how I show up, you're going to be the mirror that lets me know how I'm showing up. If I don't deliberately and intentionally think about what I'm doing in such a way that's positive, that promotes productive behavior, confidence, being clutch, right? You're going to reflect that to me. Feel what I'm saying? So if you can tell, there's some people that come in here and there's some reason why you just want to be around them. When you see them, you might not be having the best day, but you see them and all of a sudden you just perk up just a little bit. But then there's some people that you don't want to be around at all. You avoid this person. You start checking your phone. Anybody call you? Anybody text you and you checking your phone? Because you're trying to get yourself, how'd you say?
Not here.
Yeah, not here. Maybe over at St. John's, St. Joseph, whatever.
Right.
You start checking your phone because you're trying to come up with a diversion. I don't want to catch eye contact with this person. You see there's something to that. And it's not by accident. There's something to it. And so I'm asking you, so at the end of the day, I'm saying this. To be a superhero is incredibly tough because you got so many other things that you're dealing with. And you have so many people who will probably not recognize you or not applaud you or not fist bump you for your efforts. Every superhero, Batman, who is this bat vigilante fighting? Who is this person? A lot of times, those same superheroes, the good guys, they attack them before they realize, oh, wait a minute, you're trying to protect me. That's you. Sometimes you do your job, and I'm sure these parents, they attack you before they come to their senses and realize, wait a minute, you working your butt off to make sure that my child is okay. Sometimes they come to that realization, and sometimes they don't. I'm sure you have some horror stories about dealing with the parents, right? But it can't be about them. It's got to be the greater good. Here's something that needs to be done. Here's everything that I'm dealing with. Here's my suit. Some people do this. Here's something needs to be done. I'm going to ignore that, and I'm just going to think about everything I got going on. Chaos is over here, the suit back here. No, I'm not even going to check this out. I'm just going to sit here and just think about everything that's going wrong in my life. Some people do this. They see what's going on. They know they got everything going on in their lives, and they look in front of them and they say, but there's something going on that I know I can help. I can make this better. But they won't look at the suit because that suit holds them accountable. They know that I have a purpose. I have a greater purpose, and that suit is my greater purpose. And they don't want to look at that suit because they're afraid of the accountability. They're afraid of the challenges. They're afraid of all of the resistance that are going to come their way. They're afraid to even be clutch. It's one thing to, okay, I'm going to do my best to be clutch, and I fail. That's one thing. I failed. I didn't quit. But at least I got my hands dirty. It's another thing when you're saying, I'm not even going to put myself in the thick of things. I'll just watch what's going on from afar. I'll just watch the chaos. The buildings are burning down. The enemy's coming in here. I'll just watch it and hope no one sees me watching it. But the special ones, they look at the suit and they realize they have a greater responsibility. And despite what they got going on in their personal lives, right? Because it's real. It's real. I'm not trying to say that what you have in your personal lives is not important. It's incredibly important. But then you have this greater responsibility that I hope you would attack, whether it's a paycheck or not. If you just saw the action happening, you knew you could do something with it, I hope that you would attack it, whether you were getting a paycheck for it or not. Whether anybody was going to give you some recognition or not, I hope you would attack it just because you know I have a suit that gives me special powers. It gives me special abilities. And I know that I can make this situation better. If the situation is at 40% and I got to get it to 100, I might not get it all the way to 100. By myself, I can't get it to 100, but I can take that situation. It's at 40. I can at least get it to 60. It's worth my effort. But what happens when you think like that? What happens when you think like that? What happens when you think like that? You think like that. The whole step. When everybody comes in, putting on their cake, putting on their mask, tying it up, and showing everybody the S on their chest or whatever logo was on your chest, when everybody shows up that way, man, I have a hard time believing, man, y'all can't make magic happen. So, in close, I just want to tell you one quick story to take me about 3 minutes, and I'll be done. And I'll show you how this stuff has shown up in my life. Intention. Marv can sometimes stutter. I stutter, my father stuttered. So we have this thing running in the family. Marv would come up to me from time to time, and he would want to say something because he was excited. And he wouldn't be able to get it out right away. He'd kind of hesitate, he kind of stutter. And because I was disinterested in really hearing what he had to say, all depending on what I was doing, He get anxious, he get nervous, he start to stutter. Ignoring the fact that I have this issue myself, I would say things like, get out of here and come back when you've thought things through. He would go back, come back in, probably even more anxious, even more stressed out, and even struggle more to say whatever he had to say. And he would always end up saying, like, I can't figure it out. I can't remember, I'll just leave. My wife would look at me like I was crazy. She's like, how dare you? You know what he's struggling with. You struggle with it. Your father struggled with it. That's your son. He's gonna struggle with it too. And it's funny how we like to defend. We come up with these silly excuses to defend ourselves, to deflect the blame. And I would say something stupid like, Sarah, I'm making this boy tough. When he goes on this in the world, if he can stand up to me, he'll be able to stand up to anybody. Stupid, dumb, bad advice. So I learned something. I said, I'm going to be intentional. And I'm going to start showing up for my son better. And I want to be a better father. I want to show up and be better for him. And the other part of it is, I'm going to enjoy talking with my son. It's that simple. I'm going to enjoy every second of communication between he and I. My son plays 2K. I don't know if you guys got kids or whatever. My son, we just got a PlayStation 4 like last Christmas, right? We late to the party. And Mar plays it. So he'll play 2K, and like every big play, not every game, every big play, he'll come upstairs like, Pop, Stephen Curry just hit a 3. And I'm like, I was like, for the game? He's like, no. It's the first play of the first quarter. I was like, okay, go back down, play some more, Pop. You should have saw what Kevin Durant just did. And I'm like, what quarter are you in? I'm still in the first quarter, you know what I'm saying? But I've learned to love that because at some point, now who's got any teenagers? Anybody any teenagers, any grown folks in there? Okay, he's 10. That's my guy. We talk a lot. I'm assuming that when they become teenagers, all of a sudden they don't want to talk anymore. Okay. So I know that I better keep talking to him to give myself every chance to talk to him about the real stuff when the girls get involved. Because he might not want to talk to me, but he said, I'm never gonna like girls. Hopefully, son, you do. Okay? But my thing is, that's how I'm working to be a superhero for my son. And it's simply stating, the reality of it is, I know I got a lot of stuff going on. I got a lot of things kicking my butt, but I can't allow that to stop me from putting on a suit for my son. I can't allow that to stop me from putting on a suit for my family. And every day when I get up and when I jump into, the day, I'm asking myself, how am I going to show up? And then how am I going to think about what it is that I'm doing? So that I give myself a chance to be everything I need to be for the people that are involved. And I hope that you can take those two questions, and I hope that it somehow helps you out in some way. Does anybody have any response to that? Because I don't know your work. Yeah.
Because it continues in life. And beyond your own kids, then you want to do that as an adult when your kids are adults into your grandkids.
Sure.
And that's my struggle in life, because you always want to be this happy, when you see them and everything's good and you want to listen and spend all this time with them, and then by the time I leave there, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's like you want everything to be so positive and good and healthy and be a good example, and you're doing that from when they're little to when they're parents.
Mark, can you get my phone and turn it off, please?
It's just something that constant in your life. It's just constant, whether it's at work, home, you're always trying to do the best you can, be the best you can.
Yeah. And I want to let you know, I'm not saying don't be human. Like, I'm letting you know it's okay to be human. We all go through a lot. Marv, I said turn the phone off. He's checking it out. Let me see if I notice. A100 number. That's probably Sally Mae. So I'm with you. I think that's I'm glad you said that, and I think that might be a way to close it out. I don't want to make it seem like you guys got to come in here and be incredible and forget about what you got going on. It's not what I'm trying to get across here. I want to let you know that I empathize with you as best as I possibly can. My wife works in medicine. She just changed jobs, and she does research. She does research, but she has nurse friends, and she talks about her nurse friend who just lost her son from drug abuse. And not too long ago before that, she was in a relationship, and he left. She got married twice, second marriage. The divorce happens. He becomes erratic in his behavior. She starts falling in love and compromises her some of the connection with her son that's going through this thing. And now she's like, man, did I miss something? Did I miss something in falling in love that could have prevented my son from? But guess what she's got to do? She's still got to come to work, and she's still got to care for adults. And their family. So it's tough. But to the best of our ability, we have to live with intention and show up as superheroes because we're capable of it. So I'm done. Thank you so much for listening. You guys were awesome, and thank you so much for participating. And I'll see you. I won't see you soon. I'm going to see you tomorrow. I won't see you anymore. But I thank you for listening. Thank you so much.